syndrome.
Yeah.
Have you yourself felt the imposter syndrome as you made it through, tech and then where you are today?
Definitely, definitely. I used to joke with my previous boss that I don't know if the imposter syndrome ever goes away. Like, I'm at Microsoft. It's crazy, right? It's an awesome reality, but I also feel like I think I still have a ever so slight imposter syndrome. But I think that starts to die out the longer you're in a certain role or on a certain team, and you start realizing that people around you maybe aren't as technical or maybe don't have the same skill set, right? So my background being very heavy in communication studies and English, I can write well, I can speak well. So that's a different skill set than a traditional engineer would have. They're very, and it's no discredit to any engineers, but they're more binary, they're more black or white. And I think a lot of the roles out there that really gravitate towards enterprise architecture, dealing more with architect type roles, you need to dip in a little bit more to those types of areas, a little bit more on the gray side, like being able to read a room, being able to have a conversation and connect with people. Because I think that's not a normal trait, especially when you think about the way engineers move into more technical roles.
No,
Was super easy. Okay, so we got that done. Your camera looks great. I love the flowers in the background. Okay, one other thing.
I forgot to bring my hairbrush today, so my hair is a little fly. But
it's okay. There we go. All right. I also hit it.
First of all, Laura, it's so nice to meet you. I'm sorry. I got all flustered with the Zoom and all that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's really nice to meet you too.
Yeah, it's thank you for inviting me to do this.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited to have you. And so really, I love your background too. I saw fashion and I was like, oh, we're destined to be friends. And so, so I just want to confirm, I have all the details you wrote about what your, comfort zone is. We're not going to focus a lot on how early you're at Microsoft, but are you okay with us talking about your career journey, leading you up to here, not really setting a time of what that is, but just more of talking about the career side of things?
I'm comfortable with any questions at all. You can throw anything you want about my career journey, about being a woman in tech, about my family,
Awesome.
about being new at Microsoft. I'm an open book.
Awesome. Okay. And so you are okay if I mention your family, because every now and again I pop in funny stories about my son or just things I've learned along the way. And so I just like to ask, though, some people aren't, some people are.
Nope. My kids show up on my my social a lot. So
yeah.
I have a
Awesome.
son and a daughter, so totally okay with that.
All right. So
the only other parameter, just for your awareness, Kathleen, I don't think it would come up, is just avoid any commentary on what's going on in Ukraine.
Yes.
Laura, I know that's not your focus at all, but it's top of mind for so many. So we just want to steer clear of that situation.
No, I totally understand. I tend to steer away from anything political, generally speaking, but I appreciate the call out about that. Sorry, in terms of the bio, do you want me to cover anything specifically? I mean, I have your bio, but is it, what do you want me to punch on, or just curious?
I think from my bio, just a variety of different roles in tech or careers in tech. At a partner for 15 years. The majority of came to Microsoft after being at a partner for 15 years. And then, just my role as CVP of Azure Product Marketing.
Okay. And so it's Azure, say it again, because I was just going to say Azure Marketing, but it's Azure what marketing?
You could just say Azure Marketing. We always shorten it.
Are you sure? Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, awesome. So if you're ready to roll, then I will give a countdown of 3, 2, and a quiet 1, and then we're going to get started. Anything that you want to stop or redo, just sort of flag, and then I will time mark it, and we'll make sure to cut that out. Doesn't matter how many times we have to redo something, but we just want to make sure the mic is close to you. So just want to do a real quick sound check. Can you do a Kathleen or 1, 2, 3?
Yes. Hi, this is Kathleen.
Can you move it maybe a little bit closer?
I just have my laptop today.
So oh, okay. No worries.
I don't have the same setup at the office as I do at home.
It's okay. That's fine. Just maybe move your, so I think that'll be okay. I'm just going to change one setting on my end to accommodate for that. Yeah, we had, so when we go into the next year of this and funding, hopefully we'll be able to send out kits and stuff ahead of time, but with the changeover of our team and everything, some of that funding is, no longer there, at least for now. So we'll sort that out by next year. I think we'll be fine on the sound. I don't see any setting I can actually set to do that, but I think we'll be okay.
I just made my volume louder.
Oh, that's actually better. That is actually better. Yeah.
Oh, I just lost you though. Uh-oh.
I hear you. You don't hear me?
I just lost video.
Oh,
I can still
there
see
There
your
you are. Okay, that was me.
oh, okay. It's all good. I'm just going to check one other thing here. All right. I'm going to change my output level here and then here. And I think we are good. So do you hear me okay on your end?
I hear you great.
Awesome. All right. All right. So if any other questions from Sarah or Talise?
All good here. Excited for the chat.
Excellent. All right. And do you want me to mention, sorry, last question, partner's name or no? That you came from?
mentioned partner's name, PTC. Was there for 15 years. Good part of my career.
Okay. Excellent. So here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So 3, 2. Good evening and welcome to An Eye for an Eye. I am your host, Annielytics, and I am so glad to be here today with Kathleen Mitford. Kathleen joins us on the podcast today with an amazing background that I'm so excited to get into. But foremost, coming 15 years from one of our great partners, PTC, now leading into being a CVP in Azure marketing. So welcome, Kathleen, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today.
Oh, we couldn't be more excited to have supporters of women in tech in general, and your energy, just wanting and sharing that story of your career journey with us has been palpable. So I have been so excited. There's some guests that come on. I love all my guests, but some of them you just get really excited to talk to. So I just am very appreciative. And if you would like to, really run us through a little bit of your background, I think the listeners would be very excited to hear, what brought you to where you are today at Microsoft.
Okay, well, I actually have a really interesting background for being in the tech industry. So I remember when I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old, I played with what were called fashion plates. You're probably a little too young to remember what fashion plates are, but fashion plates were, they were these plastic things where you could change out the design. So you could change like the hat, the shirt, the skirt, the pants, and shoes. So from the time I was 7 years old, I wanted to be a fashion designer.
That is amazing.
I actually started my career as a fashion designer, and I worked as a menswear designer in New York for many years. But I was really only a designer for, I think, probably about 5 years.
Okay.
And I've spent the majority of my career in technology. And what happened was I got the dream job that I wanted. I did it for a couple of years and I got kind of a little bit bored. And I'm like, oh man, there's a pattern here. You look at what's happening in Europe, you look at what's selling, and you go design what's next. And at the same time, the company I was working for was implementing a system, a CAD system, computer-aided design, to computerize. We just got in computers on our desks back then, the whole design process. And I ended up implementing it.
Oh,
and that actually was my start into technology. So did that, and it was a new system. So I spent so much time on the phone with the software company. They said, well, you come and work for us.
So while you were troubleshooting, trying to figure everything out, then they were so impressed with you on the phone. They're like, we need you. Come work for us.
Exactly. But after that, we had this successful implementation at the company I was working for. So that was my first entrance into technology. And it was a small company. It was more of like a startup company. So I got to play a lot of different roles. I went in a services role, then went into a product management role, did pre-sales. So kind of got to learn all the different roles in technology. And then I had another great opportunity that this company got acquired by another startup out in California that was moving all of their development onshore to China. And they needed somebody to help them create a development office in China. And I had the pleasure of being able to work on that project. So got deeply involved and really understanding not just product management and product marketing, but what is the entire software development process? What does an engineer do? What does a quality specialist do? What is a product owner? How does that tie into customer success? So that's really where I learned a lot hands-on about the technology industry. And then I went from there to where I spent most of my career in technology at a company called PTC. And PTC, they provide industrial software for engineering, manufacturing, and servicing products to mostly manufacturing companies. And there, again, a great career where I had a variety of different roles: strategy, product management, product marketing, leading their engineering team, leading partners, leading acquisitions, leading corporate marketing. And they were a partner of Microsoft, and that's what brought me here. And I've been here at Microsoft not quite a year yet, and thrilled to be here. And, you know, really enjoyed the journey of not only my career, but it landing me here at Microsoft.
What a, you know, such a brilliant story, because if you think about it, a lot of folks I talk to think they have to graduate directly into tech if they're going to become, you know, a woman in tech. And the reality is our careers, our journeys are never linear. They're often take, you know, the form of what could be through the fashion world. And I truly love that story because it showcases a few things. One, that there are roles in tech that you don't even realize exist sometimes when you start out in your career, and that you stumble into, you realize you love. And that too, you know, your career starting in one industry can blossom in so many others. And what's so great about your journey is, you know, starting in fashion in one area and then, you know, being brought into more that technology sphere, and then really holding all of these various roles leading you up to your partner and then to Microsoft. I think you've held the hat of almost every department I can think of in a tech org. And so what led you from that into landing in marketing, you know, that becomes your focus out of all the different hats that you wore in your career?
Well, some of it is marketing, but some of it's also the opportunity. So I've always kept an open mind, you know, when I look at my career journey and when I look at different opportunities. So two different things led me here. And I actually wasn't looking for a new role, but then once I started talking to Microsoft, not just about this particular position, but about, you know, this opportunity with Azure. So I would say there's a couple different things that led me to my role today. Number one, just the opportunity with Azure. And even before that, Microsoft, you know, Microsoft is a fantastic company. And also it's a company whose purpose, missions, and values really align a lot with my own. And that was something that was important to me in any career change that I was going to make. So first there was Microsoft and being a company that was really purpose-driven and aligning with that. Next, it's the Azure opportunity. Wow, with Azure. If you look with Azure, you know, when we look at the cloud has moved from being a technology enabler to being a business disruptor.